What's up, world? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Forge. If you're watching this on demand, you can just fast forward till you see the mock draft going. We're gonna get at least one mock draft in tonight, maybe not two. I gotta make a grocery run before the grocery store closes tonight, but I will go over some news that has been happening. Actually, quite a bit of news. So I'm going to get onto that while people get in here, and then we'll do a draft. Michael, welcome on in, brother. Oh, Michael, I cannot do another draft. I know. I saw you invited me to one. I meant to look at your text and respond today. I totally forgot to. News going on. Big thing right this morning, right away, right? Adam Thielen traded to Minnesota. In terms of like J.J. McCarthy, I think this has got to be a good thing for him early season and throughout the season. Just to have a good solid target to go through. Or two. No change to Addison or Jefferson for me, really. Not too concerned about that. I would say not good for Hawkinson. I did move him down my rankings a little bit. If there's anybody who's going to work in the same area of the field, it would be Adam Thielen as Hawkinson, and just take some of those easier targets. Definitely good for Jalen Coker. Moved him up the old rankings. Was ready to do that once the initial news like a week or two ago came out about Adam Thielen, like a week ago. Possibly good for Xavier Legette, yet to be determined, but, I mean, I liked him. I thought he was a little overdrafted in the NFL draft, but I still thought he's a good talent, liked him, and we'll see if he can improve in year two, and just more confidence in Tedero McMillan that, I mean, he's probably going to get targeted a lot this year. Yeah, I did. I gave it a thumbs up. Rashee Rice accepted a 6-game suspension to start week 1. So in a lot of ways, this is really good. I mean, what you're getting into now if you draft Rice, and for those first 4 weeks, you don't have to worry about having a guy on your roster that you can't play and having to work through your bye weeks. So it's nice that he's going to get this done nice and early throughout the season. I think I moved him up maybe a little bit in my rankings. And Travis Kelce should be able to get off to a really nice hot start for you. I still think that he might be competition for Rashee Rice, but older players, if anything, they'll start off hot and get cold as the season goes along. So, I'd say this is best case scenario for Travis Kelce. You can start off hot, and then maybe, you took a different tight end or something. You can find somebody that might be able to help you greater down the stretch. But also, Travis Kelce just might have a pretty solid year. Which would probably come at a little bit of cost to Rashee Rice if that happens. 100 views, let's go, baby. Nice job. Detroit Lions traded wide receiver Tim Patrick. You might say, well, that's nothing, but no, that is something. Our boy Isaac Tesla, Michael, I know you like Tesla. 1,000, nice, even better, very nice. Opens the door for Isaac Tesla to get on the field a lot more. Infinitely more. So, Tesla, all the more, I've had him fairly high up in my rankings because I kind of figured he was going to have this role at some point in the season at least, but this shows that they're ready to put him out there. Week 1 is their wide receiver 3, and this is he's part of the reason why I'm a little bit concerned about Jefferson, not Jefferson, Jameson Williams. And that's coming true immediately, so I might have to revisit my Jameson Williams. I don't know. It's tough to push him down too much more. I've been a little bit low on him all offseason. Worrying statements about Joe Mixon. They continue to come through. This time, I think it was the GM who basically just said, he doesn't know if he'll come back this season. So you're welcome for warning you on that one well over a month ago that the tea leaves just did not look good for the Joe Mixon situation, and that it was looking like a Christian McCaffrey type of deal. And here we are, and it's very much echoing how things went with Christian McCaffrey last season so far. Brandon Ayuk was put on the PUP list. It's a 4-week minimum. The team has stated roughly 6 weeks is the goal like week 6 or week 7 is the goal for him to be returning. So we'll see if they stay on target for that. But, no surprise there, but that is part of the news. So I just want to add that in there in case you're just getting into fantasy football right now, getting prepared for your drafts. Najee Harris activated off the NFI list, eligible to return in week 1. Yeah, really quiet right now, huh? Usually right about now is when some people start to creep on in. And it's okay if it's quieter night, because I got to get going a little bit earlier than normal. Of course, what's going to happen is we'll do a mock draft with the 2, 3, or 4 of us maybe, and then all of a sudden it'll pop off. But also, I've only released one video this week. Yesterday, maybe remembered to remind people that there were mock drafts going tonight as well. Wednesday, normally it's a Friday. Several people that came in on Monday weren't aware that it'd be a Monday thing. Yeah, it would be just us and then 6 others. If 6 others come in, that'll be great. We'll just end it then. MVS was waived by Seattle, actually got picked up by San Francisco. And I'll probably put this in a video, but this opens the door wide open for Torrey Horton, just like the door's been open for Tesla. And he's somebody who I think has a chance to be the second most targeted receiver in this offense, maybe even first, honestly. And I'll explain why maybe first, even though I don't think that that's what will happen. But maybe late season or something. Maybe it's at that point that's what's happening. So he will be taking over the Rashid Shaheed / the MVS role in this offense, a role that out-targeted Chris Olave last year in New Orleans. Same offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, coming from New Orleans last year over to Seattle this year. So you look at the numbers last year. So once Rashid Shaheed got injured, then they brought in MVS. So we almost have a full season's worth of stats in that system for these two in New Orleans last year between the two of them. Rashid Shaheed, who's obviously a better receiver than MVS, especially at this point in their careers, averaged 6.8 targets, 3.3 receptions, because a lot of this is deeper ball stuff, 58 yards, and a half of a touchdown per game. That's where there was a lot of touchdowns between these two. It's very boom or bust types of production here. But there were 4 boom games, 4 big games, and then just 2 bust games. One of them, I think, 0 points, and the other, quite low as well. And then MVS, in his time, 7 games for MVS, 6 games for Rashid Shaheed, I believe is what it breaks down to. MVS averaged 4.9 targets, 2.3 receptions for 54 yards, and 0.57 touchdowns per game, which, if you take these stats over the entirety of the season, in this role, it was 2.8 receptions a game, 56 yards, a little over a half of a touchdown, which will work out in half PPR to 10.2 fantasy points per game, which was wide receiver 36 in 2024 last season. That would have put him right behind Tyreek Hill and ahead of Zay Flowers. That kind of production would put you right there. So Torrey Horton definitely has an opportunity to be flex worthy, I would say, and we know Cooper Kupp might be washed. So especially if you do believe that Cooper Kupp is washed, you should definitely have your eyes on Torrey Horton. I have him on the back end of one of my rosters. I look about 40 tonight. I don't know. I even lotioned up. My skin should be looking nice and smooth. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm closer to 40 than I am 30, but that's not flattering to hear. I don't know what it is. I thought I looked pretty good. I think I'm looking pretty good. I don't know what it is. Probably the outfit. For some reason, the outfit's just making me an aged outfit. Juwan Jennings was not placed on the PUP or the NFI. However, that does not mean he's going to play week 1. And there was just a half hour ago, 40 minutes ago, a report saying that Juwan Jennings is in doubt for week 1. As we know, sometimes reports are wrong. But obviously, Ricky Pearsall to the moon. Now the GM of the Dolphins, one more person in that organization, is also saying that Devon Achane is expected to be back week 1. and we've heard this from plenty of mouths and from pretty early on after this injury. Ever since this injury occurred, the team has not seemed to be too concerned about it. Their verbiage, their actions just have not shown any kind of like, oh, this could be much worse than they're leading on or anything like that. So for me, on Monday I told somebody I thought that Ollie Gordon's stock was as high as it will ever be, and to trade him, I don't know if they were able to get off a trade, but I hope so, because I think I was right. So that is something to keep in mind. Boise State, UCF, Baylor, Auburn. Tomorrow I'll be here, and then Friday. Okay, and Friday I might be. We'll see how tomorrow's stream goes. Looks like my off-day streams aren't as popular. All right, more news. Pittsburgh cut Robert Woods, which pretty much almost certainly it does guarantee that Roman Wilson is going to be on the field as the wide receiver 2. The other wide receiver outside of DK Metcalf in 2 wide receiver formations probably, or a lot of the times. And he can work from the slot and the outside. And I really liked him coming out. I thought he was a solid talent. I mean, second to third round talent kind of guy, but very exciting, very good upside. Could be the guy that Aaron Rodgers trusts to get the ball out to on that shorter stuff, and he's more precise with routes and everything. I do think that there is some real nice upside with a Roman Wilson that could take everybody by storm, and I will have been the only person in the world that has told you anything about Roman Wilson all offseason. Otherwise, I guess I'll just look dumb. Atlanta's right tackle Caleb McGarry is out for the season. He was put on the PUP not designated to return list. I appreciate you. Yeah, it is quiet tonight. Steelers beat writer. People are going to be surprised by how much they use Kenneth Gainwell. Yeah, I don't know how much I want to touch that Steelers backfield, man. That just seems like a season-long headache, even though, depending on your team build, there's definitely room for early season success from, what's his name there? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Why can't I think of your name right now? Jaylen Warren. Packers are hopeful that Jayden Reed will be ready for week 1, so if you're somebody who likes Jayden Reed, there you go. Good news on that front. Cade Otton just must have had like an injury at practice today or something. I didn't see too much outside of the fact that leg injury might miss the start of the season. So I don't know if this is something that happened a different day, but not great. And then today, for sure this time, Marvin Mims Jr., groin injury, left practice early. So, groin injury this close to the season, that could have some impacts. College football question. I would probably just focus on one game. Metro! Metro, you're the one. You want to do cut-ups, right? You want to do some... what are those called? No problem, Metro. Was that you, though, Metro? Do you want to do clips? What are those called? Shorts? Shorts for my channel, right? I feel like I haven't checked my email in a while. Did you end up emailing me? You are that guy. I don't know what that quote... I'm trying to figure out that quote there, Michael. Did you ever end up emailing me, Metro? If not, I mean, shoot me an email. And, no problem. It's thefantasyfootballforge@gmail.com. So, it's just the channel name at Gmail. Yeah, shoot me an email. And then, I think you have the ability to just do that, right? And then you could just send me the file and then I could post it. Because I know I leave that option open on all of my videos that people can like. No, yeah, I understand the red dot, like he's got a target on him, but what do you think about Arch basically saying they're coming for anybody by saying we have a red dot on them? I don't know what that's red dot on Archie? Who's coming? I don't know. I mean, pass rushers are going to come after quarterbacks. And Archie's kind of the golden child, so he's going to be like, people are going to get, highlight reels if they sack Archie Manning. So I would just say that that's true. What you hope is nobody comes to Ingram. So he was asked about, what do you think about you guys being the targeted ones now? Oh. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with the comment. I assume some people took offense to that comment or something. I don't know. It's the internet. There's always going to be somebody out there that's going to get offended by somebody, and I don't necessarily say that by something. I don't necessarily say that in a negative way. I'm just saying that that's out of the millions of people that, are going to come across any given thing potentially on the internet. Somebody's going to be like somewhat offended by it, and the way that you get engagement is by making a big deal about it and maybe even exaggerating how offended you might be by it. Michael, what do you want to do here? You want to do 10, 14? I assume, knowing you want to do 14? Oh, like Born Again or something like that, Metro, you talking about? Yeah, why don't I put that link in there again? Oh, cool. Well, I assume that means he's kind of back in the family and everything for you, so that's exciting. So we'll do half PPR, 14 team, 30 seconds. There's a lot of computers, so we won't. Little brother, okay, cool. Is that just a normal, is that like how older brother's still doing whatever? Is that just like kind of you just confirming, like in Christianity, we have like you confirmation. So it's just kind of like, you're born into, or in Catholicism, we have confirmation, and it's like, it's not even an adult legally, obviously, but like once you're old enough to decide that you want to be Catholic, you go do it. I mean, my parents just signed me up for it, and I just did it. I have no problem with the fact that I was confirmed or anything, but is it just kind of like that? Is it like a confirmation of a dedication to the religion? Like your little brothers said, they've made the choice on their own to practice born again or whatever. Yeah, so it's a lot like confirmation then. Should we practice the league rules? The name that I don't know how to say. What is up? Haku Hukulaku. That's not you, Metro, is it? Right? Don't you go by your name? Are you coming in here, Metro? Or are you Hukalaka? Yeah, that's what I thought. Hukalaka, I can never remember who it is. It's a very regular person in chat. Sitting there trying to probably sweating me out to see if I can remember it. So we'll do 14. I think one of you's in my draft spot. I'll just go from Team 9 then. Swift season, shut your mouth. Should we do the league rule? Okay, I'm just gonna do the league format. Don't forget, guys, for the league format. Sorry. It is 5 flex spots, I believe. Oops. Tight ends get a half point per first down. I'm pick 9? Okay. Well, good. Then I'm in the right spot. I think it's 5 flex spots, or is it just 4? I don't know. Hmm. Where's my sleeper at? I think it's 4. Well, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it might be 4. Where's the rosters out here? 1 quarterback, 4 flex. 4 flex. All right. And I think 5. Might be 6 bench. Didn't I end up? Yeah, 6 bench is right. That's too generous. I think it should be 5 bench. Okay. No, you do not have to take a tight end. But tight ends have a half point per first down increase. All right, let's get this show on the road. Bada bing, bada boom. Metro, you're on the clock. Almost. By the time that you hear this, you are. So, Lamb, Gibbs, Jefferson, Amonra, Genty. I think this is Christian McCaffrey for me then. Yeah, there we go. Finally, I get Christian. It's been a while since I've gotten Christian McCaffrey on a team. Guys, I had a draft last night. I really like my team. The Chubby Chasers, because I got Nick Chubb and Chase Brown. You know what? Why don't I just pull it up on my phone? All right, back on the clock. One of the quarterbacks goes. Michael, you got London Jacobs around the turn. Bucky, well, guess we're going to start running back there. McCaffrey, Brown. So, the Chubby Chasers. All right, so I ended up taking Brock Purdy, who had 1 spot behind Dak Prescott, even though Dak Prescott was still there, because I was like, oh, I'm going to get the Brock Purdy Kittle stack. I was like, well, I'll just stack my quarterback. But the thing is, I took CeeDee Lamb. So Dak would have been a stack too. So I'm going to try to remember to track throughout the season if that ends up costing me anything, that decision. Because I just made it for that reason, really. There are a couple of decisions that I made that were like, oh, whoops, later, but oh well. So I got Purdy, Kittle, Chase Brown, Lamb, Higgins, Cortland Sutton, Tony Pollard. I might start Tyrone Tracy over Pollard week 1, though. Tracy. Oh, you know, I didn't even have... Ooh, Jaden Daniels here in the 3rd. That might be a winner. You know what? I guess I'm going low wide receiver here. All right, so my wide receivers are Higgins, Lamb, Sutton, Coleman, and then I just waited till the end of the draft, and I drafted... We have a head coach spot. I drafted one of the best head coaches, one of the best DSTs, one of the best kickers, and I just took 2 late wide receivers in the meantime, Demario Douglas and Torrey Horton. And I might switch out Douglas for somebody that I think has more upside, but I thought I'd just play it safe with Douglas. Okay. Sutton be my wide receiver 1. And then for my running backs, Chase Brown, Tyrone Tracy, Zach Charbonnet, Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard, Dylan Sampson. So I like that room well enough, considering it got a little bit ignored early on. And then Broncos DST, Ravens head coach, Cameron Dicker, kicker. Well, I could have been like Chubb Dicker. I like the Chubby Chasers better, though. Metro, what you got? You got Amonra, Bucky, and Hubbard, Higgins, Zay. Nice. Really good floor team there. Let's see if I should have forced a wide receiver there. Probably. Why does the roster cuts have anything to value with Judkins? Roster cuts didn't change anything for me for Judkins, but the fact that he still hasn't signed on the team or anything. I got him at wide receiver. Shoot. This was supposed to be updated. 40. I have him in the 40s. I still have him ahead of Dylan Sampson. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Rome, come home. I actually probably... Well, I guess I'm trying to play the board by taking Rome there and then see. So, Jimp, what is up? Jimp? CC, what's up, CC? CC, you want to get in a mock draft here? You got a league format or anything? So Jimp, okay, so to clarify before I put my trades, this league is standard scoring, okay, 1 point for 25 yards of rushing and receiving, 3 touchdown passing, 3 points for passing touchdown, 6 points per rushing and receiving, I'm assuming that is, okay. Traded Hampton for Mike Evans and Bucky Irving for JT. Okay, so like, yeah, I mean, Mike Evans might have more yards than Hampton often enough just because of how your scoring goes. That might be a little bit more important, and touchdown upside also could work in his favor throughout the year. So I feel like I'm seeing the vision there. Yeah, it's not like I love it, but I get it. Bucky Irving, you got rid of Bucky for JT. I wouldn't have done that. I mean, one of the downsides to JT this year will probably be touchdown upside because of. By the way, CC, good luck with your draft. Because of that offense. See, this sucks about Sleeper that we can't. Luckily, we have 3 minutes in our drafts, but we can't sort by tight end. That's so stupid. I'll take Cam here. Sure. I have some guys available ahead of Cam that are there, but I didn't have time to choose there. So your lineup is now Herbert, Kyron, JT, Jamar Chase, Evans, Devonta Smith, Kraft, Green Bay kicker, 49ers defense. I saw Chase go 4th overall in one of my home drafts. That's crazy. 5th. 4 people decided they didn't need Jamar Chase. Crazy, I tell you. Especially with all the stuff. Yeah, so I don't mind. I mean, both the trades are like close. I think because of your scoring system, that Mike Evans one might work out for you. I think you'll end up regretting Bucky for JT. Yeah, that's the fun. Genty can be your guy, and Caleb Johnson can come in late. Hopefully, no injury to Genty or anything like that. So good news on Najee, by the way, guys. Yeah, I'm definitely using my rankings for this draft. You know. Hmm. So Golden, Dunze, Pollard, Sutton, Chase, McCaffrey. And remember, it's 14 teams, so, you know, the teams aren't going to look the same as they do in others. What do I have? I just have the 3 wide receivers. Could I get away with those 3? For now. Looks like this is my heavy RB one. Built. My draft for our league and home league are the same day. Ooh, Metro. I'll be a busy man that evening. They cut the 2 running backs behind Sampson and Ford. I see. Speaking of Sampson, where are we in this draft? Wow, already there, huh? I mean, really just I mean, you know, yeah, just 2 running backs, huh? It's an initial roster, so it's obviously not finished. But yeah, I mean, that sounds like a good thing. Potentially. It's tough to know for sure. And then we'll finish this off with a Tesla. We'll take some variety. Although his upside is going to be hard to find, but whatever. I actually would have probably gone, in this case, with a different pick of mine. Alright, you guys want to do... oh, there's more. Why does it do that? Why doesn't it let me always see? There's 10, 11, 12, 13. This should be it. Oh, there's always... Okay, under all says how many rounds there are. Like Iomanner could be an option. What are the tight ends? So Chick, Mason Taylor. He might end up being a first down. We'll do it. Whatever. We'll do it. So... 2 running backs. Yeah. That is helpful. Hopeful. I didn't catch that. Alright. So what did you do there, Michael? You got London, McLaurin, DK, Olave, Igbuka, Thielen, Thornton. You know, okay. Jacobs, Swift, Blue, and Giddens will be manning up your running back hole. CJ Stroud in at quarterback. So your starting 6 looks pretty nice. Looks like a good starting 6. You got your quarterback. My team. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy enough with it. It's such an interesting way how you can build teams. I mean, ultimately, you could get away with luck, you could get away with just 2 in a position. Oh, truly. Hookah. DeAndre Swift season. Did you get DeAndre Swift? So, you got Genty. Then Caleb. Oh, Bill Krosky. There we go. That's a good pick. And Tootin. Taking a shot. Thomas, Evans, Smith. Juwan Jennings, Pittman. That's not my favorite wide receiver room. I feel like we just differ on the wide receivers that we like, right? I would not really take a shot on Alec Pierce with... It's just going to be impossible to predict anything with Daniel Jones as his quarterback. You know, Daniel doesn't attack deep too often. And that's really all that Alec Pierce does. Unless you're expecting like a quarterback change halfway through the season, which is probably going to happen, and you're planning on holding on to him that long, but you probably won't hold on to him that long. So it's really, yeah, I wouldn't take the shot on it. I think there's other guys to take the shots on. And Dobbs, and then you got Goddard in there, who definitely like a first down kind of. He could be one of the guys who, because of the scoring format, does even better, performs better. So he might be a helpful option throughout all the bye weeks and stuff there too. Or if wide receivers are disappointing, Juwan Jennings misses some time. And you took Pittman earlier. I probably don't want two wide receivers on Indianapolis either, just strategy wise. Am I picking up Thielen or Tillman to fill for Rasheed? If you got to fill up, I'd probably go Thielen for the first 3 weeks and then figure out something else if you have to. You didn't draft somebody else that you can play instead of Thielen though. But if I'm choosing between the two, I'm probably gonna go Thielen those first few weeks. He should do solid through the first, what's his name is gone. Addison. Well, Jordan Addison misses time. Metro, you got Amon-Ra, Higgins, Flowers, Mooney, Besh. Hopefully Besh will be something this year. Bucky, Chuba, Javante, Ford, Ollie. So I don't. It's that at that point in the draft, yeah, why not Ollie? Okay. Yeah, so I think you got like the all-floor team. Bo Nix, Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's a guy who could get, a fair amount of first downs, too, throughout the season. That's definitely possible. Nice. Two wide receiver, two flex, a little deeper. Yeah, I would probably do that, and then, see, keep your eyes out for those waiver wire options. Yeah, we'll do another quick one. Let's do a, Andre, what size league you want to practice for? Justin, what is up? Did my 10-team half PPR and ESPN home league draft. Can I share my team with you? Go right ahead, Justin, and get your butt on in here. Congratulations on getting one of your drafts in, or your draft. Only have Reed. I messed up. Got JT, Bucky, Pollard, and RJ. Yeah, Junik, Jaden Reed, it is looking like he might be available week 1 at least for you. Yeah, I copied the link in there. So for this one, let's go a little more traditional. Oh, did it already redo all the settings? Yeah, 12 team, half PPR, maybe full PPR. Anybody need practice in full PPR? Andre. Justin, if you want to be a last minute replacement option for our league, I wonder how that will work, because I don't know that it would work at all, but if you want to, you can email me, thefantasyfootballforge@gmail.com, and preferably shoot me your phone number so that way I could text you. The draft is next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you got Purdy, hey, welcome, and CMC, and Genty, McLaurin, Sutton, hey, I got Sutton too. Flex, you got Hampton, I got Hampton too. Kincaid, my boy. And then you got Jets defense. I don't know. Who knows what that'll end up being. I have Dicker as my kicker too. Emeka, Pickens, nice. I think Pacheco, T-Mac, Pearsall, Higgins, Chubb. Okay, yeah, 10-team league. Definitely 10-team league. I got Chubb on my team too. Look at us. For 10-team, Set at wide receiver. You're overly set at wide receiver. You probably didn't need Higgins. Probably could have grabbed another running back there just to shore up that running back room in case of injuries. Because, am I seeing this right? Well, you just got the 2 backup ones, so 1 injury in a bye week, and suddenly you're in a pinch, potentially. And, you got CMC. So that would be my only thing there, Justin, that strategy-wise. But it's nice. The email, thefantasyfootballforge@gmail.com. Our K9 and RJ Harvey, solid. I mean, yeah, it depends on your options and everything, but yeah, definitely should be solid, There's some concerns out there about K9, but I'm going to doubt that you have a better option. Andre, you could do the same thing if you wanted to email me and just shoot me your phone number so that way I have a last second way to get a hold of you and see if you want to hop in. My area code is... Oops. My area code's that, so if you see it, but I'll just obviously introduce myself in the text. Well, no matter the workload isn't really a true thing, right? Eventually, if you get enough carries, even at 3 yards a carry, you're going to put up some sort of numbers. And that offense is going to be in, it's one of the better offenses around the league, we think, potentially. So they're going to be around the goal line and stuff enough times that you can plop into the end zone, too. Oh, Andre. Sweet. I mean, I was born in I was born in Florida, lived in Green Bay my whole life. I mean, I literally moved to Florida before I was a year old, and my parents are from the area originally, just happened to be born in Florida for a period of time in their life while they were there, but they wanted to move back to raise their family in the area. My mom actually from Howard, and then my dad actually East Green Bay. So yeah, I'm from Green Bay too, and I'm sure I'll be moving back there someday. All right, let's get this draft on the road then. Nobody has suggested full PPR or anything. But Nick Chubb, if you look at the preseason, if you watch him, he actually looked pretty good. There was a lot of bad news coming out about him not looking so great. Even like coach comments and stuff weren't great. But, DJ Cat, nice timing there. Look at you getting in. That was literally as I clicked it. That's awesome. I went with wide receiver depth heavy because I went double hero RB, but yeah, because all it takes is, one entry, Justin, right? And then everything's sideways. All right, so I normally go CeeDee Lamb. We're just doing some practice here, so I like Jameer a lot, and I do have him ahead of Christian McCaffrey. So let's just do a little something different here. West Side, I grew up West Side too. I grew up on the West Side. I grew up over by Fleet Farm originally, and like St. Mary's Hospital in between the two. And then literally across the street from NWTC's, like that main road to get into NWTC off of Mason. If you've ever been there, country club. That was my teenage area. If you know where Country Club Road is. But corner lot right across from the only building that's on that side of the road. Or on the opposite side of the road, right next to one of the driveways to go up to TC. BTJ, Drake London, round the corner. Ooh. I think leaving Nico on the board there is a mistake, Andre. But sometimes you just want your guys. Wow, Brock Bowers still available. I've never done that. Kyron Ladd. Well, I'm never going to say no to my number 6 running back at that point. Brock Bowers. DJ Cat. What you got? Started off with Barkley over Chase to go start this off. And Kyron. Yep. Nice solid base to work from there for DJ Cat. DJ Kitty Cat. You forgot the last 7 digits. No, I'm just not posting my last 7 digits in here. I don't need that right out. Actually, my phone number is very much public because I was a realtor, so it's all on the internet. So you can find me. You can find old pages probably that are still logged out there with my information somewhere in the real estate sphere of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Justin, I got your email. Keller Williams, nice. I was with Shore West. Good friend of mine with Keller Williams, though. Lad McCackey here. Yeah, you know I'll pull on that one. I got into it right out of college. And then I wanted something a little bit more formal. So I went and worked the corporate job for a while. That was nice. Then they switched jobs on me and stuff, and then I was going to be moving the state. So I dropped that, went back to real estate for an in-between time period before moving back down. Yeah. Not back down, before moving down to the south of the U.S. With these options, I believe I go Joe Burrow. This is what I'm doing right now. But I'm looking for jobs in football related, fantasy potentially related. Two top 5 receivers for Andre. Well, I think Nico's the top 5. Yeah, it would be pretty cool. I've actually I'm taking a course starting in next week for some PFF stuff, resume buffer, and then I have emailed back and forth a little bit with somebody very, very high up with the Green Bay Packers. Not really about a job, just about like career advice and stuff. Checked out my resume for me. And when I say very, very high up, I mean extremely high up and currently is no longer with them. So if you can figure out who retired from the Green Bay Packers recently, you could figure out who. Yeah, we go James Conner at this point. It'd be the dream somewhere, just in football, even if it's not with the NFL, but that would be the sweetest. Oh, I got a marketing degree, and it was just one of those things. That's what I got. I don't really love, I don't like cold sales. I like keeping relationships, developing relationships, and everything. I hate cold sales, though. Not my thing. And that's why I ended up not liking my corporate job that I originally did like when I was just working with our government customers. And Mel Kiper, that's pretty cool. How's his hair look live? He lives in Baltimore area. Should have given him a resume, right? I don't think he does hiring, though. But you never know what he could say for it. That's pretty cool, though. Henry Jacobs, Pacheco, Pickens, Evans, Higgins. Pretty solid. I'm not the biggest believer in Pacheco, but obviously that could pay off. Wow, I only have one wide receiver so far. I was about to go Pollard. Probably, if I was using my board, might have gone Pickens there. Tier 1 wide receiver start. Curious how I navigate this little start that I did. We'll see. The Forge Cook. Oh, I've also done plenty of that in my career. Not plenty, but I've worked in service industry on and off. And I worked as a sous chef for a summer at a resort restaurant. That was fun. That was cool. Good experience. Kind of my fallback plan. Working with food. I do have a Discord. I just never plug it because nobody really goes on it, and I don't even check it because nobody's really got. But I started one last year, and it gets like very very minorly used. Uh, yeah, originally when I came down here, I was going to look for a bartender job before I decided I wanted to give this a try, and before I wrecked a knee of mine and thought, it'd be probably like good if I could extend the life of my knee before I have, maybe even potentially never have to get a knee surgery, a knee replacement. But I probably will have to. And so I thought it'd be good, if I could get a job where I'm like sitting down more. Yeah, that's right. I just went down there and grabbed Keon Coleman from the Defs. Yeah, I was like, um, I would have liked Golden here or Ibuka. Ibuka just doesn't make it here anymore, but Golden sometimes would have been okay with Southwest Florida, Fort Myers area ish. Um, where do you find like what your where do you find like a link to your here? There you go, but I very rarely go on it. Sarasota St. Pete, yeah, so just up there. Nice, Justin. That's good to hear. Um, I'm hoping to meet up with the dude actually that's up in Tampa Bay area who does some dynasty stuff to maybe get a little bit out on my channel next year if I have the ability to continue to run the channel next year, and maybe I get a job that keeps me too busy to do that or not. I don't know. It's okay, Andre. Same here. Pretty high in Golden at this point. Good opportunity. I've never done Dynasty. That's why I don't. That's why I don't do it on the channel. I don't. My home base is redraft, league draft preferably. Or home league draft, I should say. Andre, you missed your pick. Probably about that time. Yeah, it's past that time. Those tight ends just went. Crud, 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 I guess. I probably didn't need to take him there. Probably not. Hmm. Is this 12 rounds here? Let's see what the CP can do. Are you happy you got Kraft with Hawkinson? Probably don't need both. Yeah, they're probably going to be pretty pass happy. I don't know. There's a chance though that it's like not that it would be bad for Nico Collins if it's the same situation as last year, but there's a chance that that offensive line just hurts them. Let's go Eckler here. Yeah. Then I'll just take another flyer at wide receiver. Looking for something. Gotta be looking for something. Well, Ariante Ursary won out the job there at left tackle. And I did like him in the draft process. I covered the draft too, if you're not familiar. So I liked him, fairly strongly. A little bit more than a lot of people. So if he can hold up there, that'll be huge. But he's a rookie. For the most part, even if he has a good rookie season, it's going to be average. But if it's average, it's better than what they had. And for my final pick, we will go with Roman Wilson, who I think still has a chance to be really, really Chris Olave-esque, really solid. So there's how I made up for my wide receiver. We took a shot on Coleman, a shot on Wilson. We got a safe guy in Olave, ultimately. I mean, there should be good volume for him to work from. Not a lot of high upside, but Ridley, high upside, who I'm pretty high on. So I'm happy to have him as my wide receiver 2, based on my rankings. Lower end wide receiver 2. And extremely high end wide receiver 2 for Ladd McConkey. And we got my 2nd and 6th running backs, my 5th wide receiver, quarterback I mean, but one of the 5 that's actually a game changer there. And Fergie Ferg could be solid. Took him last year and that stunk, but still has another chance to be solid again this year. If not, there's a couple tight ends out there that are still available that might be some interesting options. Probably nothing that'll matter, but that doesn't, matter against most teams. If we're not playing against these top 3, it won't matter. Would you be surprised if the backfield just ends up being all Eckler? Yeah, I would. But, I mean, if they're just not planning on using Eckler next season, then okay. But no, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Bill Krosky-Bear is going to get pretty involved there on the ground, and Eckler's going to have his same role. If there's one thing about Cliff Kingsbury, it's that he likes roles. He puts guys in roles, and he does not. He's a little bit better about it now than he was when he was with Arizona, and he's not the offensive coordinator anymore. Maybe that's part of the reason. He's back to being the offensive coordinator, he's not the head coach anymore. So maybe he's able to focus on it a little bit more, but he likes putting guys in roles and using them in those roles. And Austin Eckler has a role that he likes with receiving backs. I will say the addition of Deebo Samuel could eat into both Eckler and Ertz, and all 3 of them could just kind of be ugly in terms of when you can use them. That's my one concern for Eckler, is that addition of Deebo. No, he just doesn't have much tape at all receiving. And I'm let me pull up my draft notes on him. I might have made a comment about him at least. So why don't I do that quick? And then I gotta head out of here. I gotta do some late night shopping, grocery shopping. So I gotta get there before the grocery store closes. My notes on JCM. First of all, strengths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strengths, and 1 weakness. The weakness is receiving has never been a big part of his game. What I don't know, and we'll see if I. Oftentimes, when I do see a guy who I think looks good with the ball in their hands on the few opportunities they had, I'll make a comment of that. But it has never been a part of his game. He has impressed throughout this entire offseason. Publix is expensive as all heck. I'll be going to Walmart. I don't mind Publix, but really expensive. So strengths. Good to very good yards after contact. Good to very good elusiveness. Stop and start move is a strength of his. Great vision. Kept his feet moving. High motor rusher. Utilizes angles to the max. And he can throw the ball. So maybe there'll be some. Maybe there'll be 1 or 2 weeks where we'll get a passing touchdown or something from him. That'd be cool. I don't remember that about him. Can throw the ball. All right. I saw something on tape. Was he an ex-quarterback in high school? A lot of times that's the case. Was Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt a quarterback ever? Let me narrow that down to in high school. Versatile offensive player, including running back, not quarterback. Multi-talented sport athlete. Primary position were in running back and return roles. So I saw somewhere that he could throw. I don't know where that came from. How do I feel about McLaurin? I mean, I think he's pretty good. I haven't really. I moved him down my rankings a little tiny bit. He was probably started the offseason in my rankings at like wide receiver 15, probably, and he's at 18 now. And I haven't moved him up since like I never thought he wasn't going to be signed by week 1, you know, and be with Washington. So I mean, I like him as a lower end wide receiver 2, I suppose. Just fine with some, obviously, like some good weekly upside. What was that? What else was I looking at? Woodman's is the best. I love Woodman's. I barely ever shopped at Woodman's, but I do. Wait, yeah, Woodman's is the grocery store, right? Shop Woodman's, yeah. The employee-owned grocery store. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so DeAndre Swift season. How's your team now? So you got, this was a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver league. You got Barkley, Hampton, Charbonnet, Sampson. So once again, I always just feel a little bit worried. Now this was not as deep of a bench or anything. I prefer to have like 5 running backs and fewer receivers, just because I know this wasn't the case last year, but most years running backs get more injured, and so like I think Dylan Sampson could be a savior for you, getting him late here. But you know, what if Barkley goes down week 1, and Charbonnet's nothing but the backup in Seattle? And Sampson's in a complete split in Cleveland and a not good offense. You know, so I just like to have one more shot there, at least, even if it's a late shot, personally. Or if I'm going with 3, I'd like to have something a little bit more guaranteed. But like I said, Dylan Sampson might just be that guy. And with a little bit of luck, Charbonnet might be that guy anyways. So you went both tight end, quarterback. You know, I don't love that in the top 6 rounds. I understand sometimes that might feel right to you. Technically, I guess quarterback could have been 7th round pick here, which, okay, it's a little less worse. But, like, if I'm going Bo Nix, I feel like I might as well just wait until the 9th or 10th round and get one of these guys who I think has no different of a chance of being a good quarterback. I mean, Denver's defense is so good that Bo Nix isn't going to have to be sitting there scoring 30 points a week or anything like that. So I just don't think he has a great high ceiling. And the rushing upside, I think it's maybe a little bit overstated compared to some other guys. I did a video on that. Check it out. Quarterback and running back battles, I think it was. 2 videos ago on the channel. Talk about that in some depth. So your wide receivers starts off with Flowers. Williams gives you some pop. Roma Dunze, you're hoping will break out. Mooney, I don't know when he's going to be coming back. Bateman, I mean, you never know, but he really hasn't been very good. You know, Douglas, very mediocre. I would have liked some more, you know, I just, at this point, I would just take a shot on a Roman Wilson or something instead and maybe get a running back here instead and take a wide receiver here, even if you're going with the 4. So get like Austin Eckler here, somebody who can just give you something. Nick Chubb actually would have been really good on this roster, just give you that floor in case something goes wrong with these 2. And then just take a pot shot at a high upside wide receiver, you know, just take a shot there. So that would be my evaluation there. I do think that this hurts you a little bit in that wide receiver room. But a little bit of luck, it could work out just fine. And I think Zay Flowers actually has a chance to be pretty good. I mean, I just have you barely having a wide receiver 2 even, much less, you know, a wide receiver 1. So that's the concern. But maybe Odunze can be a wide receiver 1-ish, borderline, high-end wide receiver 2. And when I evaluate teams, I do struggle to take into account the fact that you have Trey McBride here. So that's pretty nice. Justin, I think, and Andre, maybe Andre, you wanted me to, Justin, look at your teams here. Justin's still in here, I know for sure. Then I cry. Fair enough. Nothing wrong with making a roster where you just end up crying about it later on because it got worked. Yeah. I just, generally speaking, like to build more like a robust rosters that can withstand injuries and stuff. So I'm all about the bench. I almost always have like the best rated benches on my teams when I'm done with drafts via like Fantasy Pros and whatever draft platform I'm on, where they like rank your bench. Most often mine's ranked number 1, or pretty much most often is ranked number 1. Just reads Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Isaiah Pacheco, Javonte Williams, Nick Chubb. I mean, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Pacheco, but yeah, that's fine. T. Higgins could be a wide receiver 1. Mike Evans probably be a wide receiver 2, right? Pickens, I think, has a chance to be a higher end wide receiver 2. Jacoby, I don't know. I've been down, I've been up, I've been down on him. So who knows for sure. I would rather take a shot on the Goldens, Egbuka, Coleman. You know, with the roster that you had, you could even take a shot on Chris Godwin. I don't think I have Godwin ahead of Myers in my rankings right now, but, like, you could. Juwan Jennings, I think, provides maybe more potential upside. I don't know. A lot of mouths to feed in Las Vegas. And run heavy. It might just take... It's not like he was great in fantasy, and it might just take that lid off to make him really, really, like, no ceiling, you know, floor. And a not incredibly high floor kind of guy. You get a floor in Evan Ingram. You get Dak Prescott. So you wait on wide receiver and you wait on tight end quarterback. I think you're doing fine at both of those positions. And it shows with the rest of your roster. Nice, good, strong bench. You can withstand a couple of injuries and bye weeks at running back. And you're never going to have to touch the waiver wire even if you don't want to. Andre's team... Brian Thomas, Drake London, talked about that early on. Took a shot at Henderson and Walker and Harvey. Cool. You know, it's a really fun running back room. There's a chance that all 3 of these disappoint. But that's why they're not going even higher. You know, well, Henderson is pretty darn high, but I know people will be taking him at this point in some drafts if, you know, they're one of the people who likes him. So after that, you got Braylon Allen. So nice backup running back there. Hawkinson and Kraft. The computer did really well for you here, I think. Shaheed, you know, some people love him. Probably don't need 2 tight ends, but I know that the computer did that anyways. So there we go. Anybody else want me to look at your team, or are we good? Chat's been quiet, so I'm assuming we're good. I am going to head out. Get some shopping done. Peace out, y'all. Thank you very, very much. Have a lovely night. I'll be back here tomorrow night. Bye-bye.